This is another one of those programs that I wish we had 2 hours for. We have gas, coal, and oil executives. We have people who are just business people, people just like you as well. And we're talking in the breaks on how long before really people understand what's being done to our country, and you start to feel it in your pocketbook more than you are now with our energy prices. Kate, we were talking in the break, and you kind of vocalized exactly what I've been feeling until recently, at least.
Yeah, I just don't understand why the oil companies allow themselves to be vilified the way they are, and why they don't articulate their position to the people, you know? Because we need what they produce.
Tom, you're a guy who's been in, you know, going after big businesses and everything else before it was cool to go after big businesses. Why are the oil companies doing it? Do you know?
Oil companies have no idea why they're doing it. I think some of them were really useful idiots. They thought they could, you know, give a little less flesh and maybe they won't be killed with one swipe. It absolutely made no sense. They joined with General Electric and other companies to really sell out we the people. But now they're waking up, and hopefully they recognize that people will be behind them if they do start.
Let me go to Joe Petrosky. He is he's with Gulf Oil, CEO since 2005. I think the first time I've seen you guys actually swing back in front of Congress and not look like, you know, little puppy dogs. The first time was in this last hearing. You guys started to say, "Excuse me, that's not even the truth." Why have you guys been waiting so long, Joe?
Well, I can't speak for others. You know, I think we think it's important to have a healthy debate about our energy policy, and it starts with carbon-based fuels are about 75 to 80% of our BTUs today in the United States, and no serious discussion of making us competitive and making us secure starts by saying that carbon-based fuels are going away anytime soon.
The oil companies, though, I mean, you know, BP, Beyond Petroleum, what a load of bullcrap that is. Why not be proud in what you're doing? You guys create jobs. It is a way of life currently. I mean, would it be great if we were off oil? Sure, it'd be great if we were off oil, I guess. But we're not, and we're not anytime soon. You guys have put together these ads, and I know I'm not talking about you specifically, but I'm talking generally. They're ads that almost make it seem like you're ashamed of being in the oil business. Why not be proud of what you do and say, look at what we've provided for the world?
I'm proud of it. I mean, of the 165,000 gas stations in the United States, 58% are owned by single-site operators. 75% of all the stations in the United States are owned by people who are small businesses who own less than 5 units. We employ 8,000 people, and we haven't laid anybody off, and I'm quite proud of that.
And here we have the president going over and saying that we want to be Brazil's biggest customer. What does Brazil have that we don't have?
Boy, I don't know. I would say, apart from recognizing carbon fuels are here to stay, the domestic energy policy needs addressing. And it's on the fact of security. It's on the fact of jobs here for the U.S. and balance of payments. And I'll take another argument. If only you cared about the environment, if that's all you cared about, you didn't care about jobs, competitiveness, just the environment, I ask one question. Where in the world would it be safer to drill, where in the United States or Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, or Brazil? Just answer that question.
Let me go back to the audience. We were talking about CEOs. And where are all the CEOs? Where are they?
Do not think for a minute we are not fighting back. We are bounding together like we never have before. I get more calls from other people who used to be my competitors saying, can we pull our resources? Because we're not here to survive, we're here to win. And we will protect our employees at all costs. You will not take them down. We are bounding together. We're at mastermind groups. We're at roundtables. We're in our communities. We're trying to figure out how we, not depending on them, how we will get through this to the next side. Because we got into business because we love our teams. We love what we do. We consider it a blessing. And what's happening now, it's heart-wrenching.
So let me go up here.
Let's talk about what American companies can do in terms of innovation. What are American companies doing to reduce the toxicity of fracking, getting American energy out of the ground in a way that is also safe for the environment.
Jack, can you talk about that, or should fracking?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I know that they've just found a huge oil reserve in Texas, but it may have to come through fracking, and people say that's polluting the water and everything else.
Which isn't true. Oil and natural gas, we've been using the fracking process, which for those who don't know is a process whereby we drill vertically and now through modern technology can drill horizontally and through pressure crack the rock and allow smaller deposits of natural gas and oil to now be produced commercially that weren't commercial before. We have standards. We're regulated by the federal and by the state law. We've developed best practices within the industry. It's a safe technology, has been concluded by the EPA. They've currently got it under study again today. Natural gas, the great finds we have in this country are a game changer. We've created 57,000 new jobs in just Pennsylvania and West Virginia last year alone. That's the potential of the oil and natural gas industry for given opportunity to produce.
All right, so let me go there next. I want to talk about American innovation, and I want to talk to Stephen, who says you're from Pennsylvania, right?
I'm from actually New York City, but both of my grandfathers were coal miners, anthracite region, eastern Pennsylvania. And he's absolutely right. The problem you have, and you've had for the last 30 years in Pennsylvania and other places that produce coal, is people who are against it are thinking in the past. Innovation is the answer. It can be done safely. Both of my grandfathers died of black lung. Today, that would not be the case. And yet, it's still a boogeyman out there. And those areas of Pennsylvania, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Hazleton, Frackville, all those towns are dying. These were the New Deal towns that went for Roosevelt 90%. These are my relatives that still have Roosevelt's picture on the wall and talk about Mr. Hoover's depression. And yet the Democratic Party sells them down the river.
Back in just a second.